What's up everybody, it's Gail P, and today we're going to be talking about, you guessed it, embroidery machines. I'm going to try my best not to talk with my hands today. So I have gotten so many questions about what type of machine to get, how much does it cost, how long did it take you to learn. So I'm going to be looking down because I have some cards here so I can stay on task. So the first thing I want to do is give you my background on embroidery machines. I started using my first embroidery machine, which was in 2019. It is a Brother PE800. It is a 1 needle machine. It came with one hoop that I still have to this day. I never purchased any other hoops. And basically, this is the machine that I learned how to digitize on. So digitizing is how you take a drawing or some picture and turn it into thread. So with this particular machine, I use a software called Stitch Artist. And the only reason I selected that software is because I had a Mac and I was having a very difficult time finding software to run on my Mac because I didn't have a PC. So these are things that you will have to keep in mind when you're purchasing software and when you're purchasing a machine. The number one thing I would say is, if you are a Mac user, if you buy a Melco machine, which is this one, it only runs on a PC, so you have to keep that in mind. So most people are PC people. I was not, so I had to buy an additional laptop to run this machine. However, the software that's on this machine can be used only on PC, of course. Okay, so not to jump to this machine, but I just wanted to throw that out there. In 2020, I was laid off, and so I had to figure out how to make additional funds. So I decided to really dig in and really learn how to digitize really well and to start a business, which is what I'm doing now. I'm Gail P Designs online, and I do a lot of logos. I create logos for people, and I do a lot of patches and hats and everything. So I wanted to let you guys know that this is a very expensive profession. So it's just like photography, any other thing. You think, oh, okay, I just need a camera and a printer so I can print it out. But once you get into it, you realize that there are so many other items that you're going to have to purchase in order to maintain this embroidery business. So I would suggest, as a general rule, to just purchase a single needle machine so that you can at least get a feel for what you're doing. The single needle machine is a very nice machine. I actually ran a couple of things out just so I could show you that there's really not a big difference in the quality. The only issue you're going to have is that you have to change the thread if you have multiple colors. So today I just ran a test, and I want you to try to guess to see which machine printed which, stitched out which item. If you can see, I don't know if it's blurry, maybe it is, but if it's not, let me know if you can tell which machine stitched out each logo. So for me looking at this, I mean, of course I know which one, but you can tell the difference in the quality of the stitching based on the machine. Also, I want you to know that we're going to get into the pros and cons of each machine. So why don't we just do that? Let's get into the pros and cons. So we're going to talk about the PE800 first. The PE800, of course, is less expensive. I think this machine was about no more than $600, and I actually purchased this on Amazon. Okay, the other pro is, of course, it only has one needle. So if you have a design that has more than one color, you're going to have to set up your design to run one color at a time and then switch to the next color. And that can really take a lot of time, trust me. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I did everybody's. When I first got this is the only hoop I had. So I had people getting 50 and 60 pieces, sometimes 100, and I would have to figure out how to get as many of their designs in this hoop. It's not that big. It's not even as big as a piece of paper, and then it depends on the size of the person's design if it's going to fit in here. So it took a lot of time, and honestly, if you're doing this for a business where you're going to be doing hundreds of whatever you're doing, this machine is not the machine for you. Now, if you just wanted to just try to get into embroidery to see if this is something you want to do, I suggest it's a great starter machine. So if you're starting out, you don't want to spend the amount of money it costs to get this one, I would invest in a smaller machine, 1 needle, or maybe a 6 needle machine. I'm not really sure what the cost of 6 needle machines are. I think they have like 6 and 8 needle, I believe. I'm not real sure about the cost, but you can do your own research on that. So the space. So I would say the space of maintaining this machine is really good because you can put it on a countertop. You can put it on your table. If you want to put it up after the end of the day, you can just put it in the closet. You know, it's good as far as space is concerned. It doesn't take a lot of space to run it. It's not super loud. It's very quiet. That's another pro. I didn't write that down, but I just thought about it when I looked at the machine. Again, like I told you, you can get software to run on this computer that works for a Mac and a PC, which at the time, like I said before, I only had a Mac, so I desperately needed software. I think I've upgraded the software to twice. So now I'm on Stitch Artist 2 for this machine. The actual files that you would use on here will translate over to the other software that I'm going to talk about that I run for this one. Less needle breaks. So I can honestly say I don't think I've had as many needle breaks on the 1 needle machine as I've had on this larger machine, and that's only because of the different type of materials that you use on the larger machine, like hats, heavy jackets, different things like that, or just basically not knowing what you're doing and breaking needles. Because in the very beginning, I think when I first got this machine, I think I broke like 6 or 7 needles in the first day. So, and that was all because I was inexperienced. I didn't know what I was doing, and it just happened. So it's part of it. The needles are not super expensive, but when you're in the middle of a project and maybe you have to wait until the next day to go and purchase more needles, because I couldn't find any of these needles locally. That is another pro. The needles for the brother, you can easily go out to like Joann Fabrics or somewhere and buy needles that will work in here. However, this machine has special needles and you have to order them. I order all my needles and my thread from Madeira. They sell everything you need. They sell the oil for it. They sell basically everything that you need to run this machine is sold at Madeira. So that's who I use to purchase my service equipment. See, I told you, like, it's good to have notes, but sometimes you'll come up with some more information. Okay, so let's go over the cons. The cons are, of course, it's just 1 needle, which means you can only have 1 bobbin of thread, which is not cool and is very time consuming. The speed. This machine only goes to 650 stitches per minute. This machine goes up to 1,000 or more. So you can see the difference. Something that would take, so I'll just use this as an example. So this design here at the top, this took 7 minutes to stitch on the PE Brother. On this machine, it took 3 minutes. So see the difference in that? So if you have a design that's over 10,000 stitches, it will take forever. And just think, if you have to do 100 of those and you're trying to run them on this machine, it will take an extreme amount of time. Who has that type of time? I don't. So it took me a while to get to that point. So the other con about the PE Brother machine is it doesn't have tracing. Tracing is when you put your design, you load your design into the machine and it traces the outline of the design and make sure you're in the right spot on the garment. On the PE Brother, you're kind of like, I hope it's in there. There's no tracing. You just have to hope that where you start your stitching, it really lands in that spot. So those are, for me, those are the cons that I experienced with the PE800. Now, I'm one of those people, when I do a video, I try to keep it moving because I hate watching people's videos and they just be going on and on and on. So I'm very quick. If you see that I'm saying something and you want me to elaborate on that topic, please drop your question in your comment below, and then I'll go back and read those comments, and then I'll make another video responding to those. So now we're going to get to the Melco. The pros of the Melco is you can do hats, you can do jackets, you can do as long as you have different hoops. So I purchased this additional hoop. The hoops are very, well, they can be expensive. So the ones that are not magnetic are, this one cost me about $300. Okay, when I got the machine, it came with a package, which means I had two large hoops. Like, this is the largest hoop that I have right here. This is the largest one. I have two of these, and then I have two circle hoops. One is like 3 5/8, and the other one's like a 5-inch hoop. And then I bought this magic clamp where it just snaps down. It has a magnet in it, and it's like a square. They have larger ones. Those are like $400 or $500. So this is what I'm talking about. So you buy the machine for over $15,000. I don't know how much they are now, but that's about the range of mine. So you just buy the machine. It comes with your first couple of, it comes with 16 colors, not these little ones that you see here. These are all ones that I purchased after the fact. So it comes with 16 colors on the machine, but don't get the other threads that you need for very thin fonts. You're going to need a larger number weighted thread. So like these are 40 weights, and for very fine stitching you're going to need like 75, 65, 90 weight thread, because it's really thin and it can stitch out those small letters. So that's additional cost on top of what you have here. So right now I would say I might have a range of maybe 100 different colors of thread. Tracing. This machine traces, and it has a little red dot that will show you where your design is, and it will show you on the screen. You can see it trace it out, so you know exactly where your design is going to land on the garment. The hat is so very helpful to have that function. The cons of this machine: super expensive, like I said, but you can get on a loan program where you can make payments and stuff like that. So you can also do that. As long as you have your credit is good, you should be able to qualify for getting a loan, and then you can make payments on your machine every month. The space. I'm going to show you how this area here, because all of this was in my apartment, in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I had it like in the dining room section. So this machine takes up a lot of space, and it's super loud, and it's noisy. So wherever I live, I make sure I'm living on the first floor, because I don't want to disturb my neighbors underneath me. I went outside in the hallway just to see if you could hear it. I don't know how it sounds on that side of the wall, but I know when I'm in there in my room, I can hear it. It's not loud, but I can hear that it's running. So it's a very noisy. You need to have a room for it so you can shut the door and away from other people. So that's one of the cons. Like I said, you have to purchase extra supplies. And what I mean by extra supplies, I'm talking about stabilizer. There's so many different types of stabilizer that you can purchase. You have heavy cutaway, you have tearaway, you have stabilizer for hats. There's so many additional items that you have to purchase just to do what you're trying to do. And also, if you want to take classes, to learn how to use your machine, I would first search online to see what type of free offerings or like YouTube videos that show different methods on how to use the machine that you're interested in. I personally really love the Melco machine. I might make a video about the experience I had with another vendor, and they took maybe 2 months and it was just getting to be a problem, and I ended up I wanted to cancel it and had to go through a whole situation with that vendor just to get them to cancel the contract for a machine I did not even have. So it was really a serious thing. I think I ordered this in August, and I got it at the end of September. So it came like right away, just like she said. So didn't have any problems getting it. My trainer came, he trained me. I watched all the videos that interest me and what I was trying to do. I just watched them over and over again until I felt comfortable with threading the machine, putting in the needles correctly. You know, they show you you have to do your own maintenance with this machine. So it has maintenance intervals, and you have to oil the machine. You got to take the needles out. You got to maintenance. Okay, so that might be a con, but when you are talking about a commercial machine, these are the type of things that you have to do in order to maintain it. Like I said before, this is a PC based machine. You have to have a PC, a laptop to run it. And also, I talked earlier about the needle breaks. I've had many needle breaks. I have different size needles to do different things. And also, an additional item you will want to have is a steamer. Steamers are really good when you are doing Richardson hats and those there's another brand of hats that the front of the hat is really hard. So these are different items that you will have to purchase in addition to the thread, the fabric for testing, the stabilizer. Like, once you get into it, it's not that bad, but these are things that I felt that would be helpful to people. This might be 2 parts because I don't really know how long I've been talking because I had to stop the video. But why did I make the switch? I made the switch to the Melco because I was starting to get really large orders, and it was taking me a week just to do 50. And 50 it took me a whole week just to do 50, and it only had like 2 or 3 colors, and it was just too much. And then you have to cut out every single thing. It was a lot, and I would not say this, but really take into consideration, especially if you have children, if you're married, if you have a lot going on, this machine is probably better for if you're in a hurry to do something fast. But if you're still learning, I would go with the PE800. Well, that is all I have for this video today. I hope that you gain enough information from what I've told you to decide, which machine you want to purchase. And if not, I'm so sorry, but I think that I gave enough information. So if you have any questions, didn't understand something I was talking about, or want to go more in depth into a particular topic, please drop your comments below. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace and light.